Hello and welcome everybody to a debate today. I'm your moderator of this debate. We will talk about if online interaction should be considered private and if data collection individual is an invasion of privacy. The audience here in the hall has promised to remain silent. No cheers, applause, boos, hisses, among other noisy distracting things. So we may all concentrate on what the participants have to say. I would like to introduce the teams now. On my right side, we have the affirmative debaters Fadel, Nelson, Shukri, Oswaldo, and Nina. On my left side, we have debaters that have a negative opinion. In that team are Nassar, Keo, Marina, Mario, and Papa. The affirmative team will start the debate. You have 6 minutes.
Hello everyone. Today my team and I will defend our point of view, which is the online interactions should be private. And someone would ask me why. So I will answer him. Today, sitting in front of our laptops screens means sitting in front of a clear glass screen and writing with marker your all personal information and all in front of all people who are on the other side of the virtual world. So this is bad for us, and as a result, we are kidnapped or hacked, and that means all your information can be kidnapped. And also, these screens doesn't mainly they are separate us from other people, but in fact they don't do protect us from their accesses to our personal information. So sometimes it's even more worse than that. Sometimes you or your children get kidnapped, and who knows. So therefore, we should think about that because we have the right to keep our personal security, and we have some terms and laws uh, in all around the world that justify us to have our personal security. And although someone would claim that the personal security that found by the government is for to improve our personal security and our privacy, that doesn't mean using the usage of our information carelessly. Also, think about who those victims. Today, have some of them. This is Nancy Goodman. And this though, the lady is carrying her daughter and walking to stand before the judge and to show him the evidence, which are the injuries that her daughter got on her body when she was kidnapped by a gang, which got information from an email was sent by this lady to the court, and she was witness in that trial that related to that gangs. So we should think about that, and we have to think seriously about this issue and our personal security. Thank you.
First, everybody has to know that government is not an option for government to decide if they want to protect or not our personal information. The Constitution of the United States established that privacy is a right. And it's not only a local thing, but also is in all the world. The declaration, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, established this No one shall be subject to arbitrary interference with his privacy, family, home, or correspondence. Everyone has the right to the protection of the law. I want to show you something. Sorry. First, do you know what is this? I have to accept now before I can show you, but I'm going to show you this. All the green countries have signed the declaration. Yeah, it's a human right. I'm going to take the opportunity to talk about the contract that every day you have to accept to use Wi-Fi here, because it's not just this contract. Every day you have to accept different terms, to use your email, to use some web page. And I would like to ask you, who has read the contract that you've seen every day? Nobody, because you need to use internet. You cannot choose between use or not internet. Everybody has an email. You cannot choose to have or not an email. You cannot choose about elementary things. You cannot choose if you want to eat or not. You need to use internet. And this kind of contract agreement that you think in all this kind of contract, you accept that the company is not responsible for the use of your personal information. And
Thank you, Osvaldo.
it's okay.
Thank you. A member of the negative team now has 3 minutes to ask questions.
Thank you, Mr. Robin. I am Nasser. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome. My group is supported. The interactions should be considered private, and collections on an individual's choice or decision to use the internet. And today I would like to ask our opponents group some questions. The first question is, if you are not doing anything wrong, why you are concerned about privacy? It means if we are use it illegal, it doesn't matter. The second question is
Just one question at a time.
one question.
Let him answer the question first.
Okay.
You can answer next.
Okay. For our children our children have to study, and we are not doing anything wrong, but we have to give our personal data to the school because they have to do their homework by internet. We have to have an email or do their homework. And I don't want that people take the information of my children to make, for example, kidnapping or do anything wrong to my children. It's not a bad information, the personal information of my children, but everybody can take and use this information to cause a damage.
The second question
I
is
have another point. Our concern is not our personality or like this, but we found out, unfortunately, our information on the internet, And some people claim that the government sell this information on the internet. So this is the main question. And I would ask you this question. How our information reach to the internet?
You have not the right to ask him a back question.
Okay,
Later
just
on,
for explaining.
Okay, if you please, Mr. Robin, give me more time because in their answers they took a lot of time and I didn't finish my questions. The
Sorry,
second
but-
question
but-
is
When they formulate the question, it takes maybe 2 minutes to do that.
We finish on the time.
I think we need to move forward. You now have 6 minutes to introduce your opinion on this kind of topic. Time is running.
again, hi everyone. I, our topic today is online interactions should not be concerned with private and data collection and individual choice or decision to use internet, and or he or she must understand that this information can easily to be obtained and utilized to many people. The government jobs is ensure the safety of citizens, and data mining contributes to this effort. I will talk about first about the self-responsibility. First, to use internet, this is the citizen choice. We do not invite everyone to come to choose to use the internet. It's their choices. Also, the government doesn't use your informations which you applied or submit in a bad situations. Also, the internet and the technology and the major companies now, they use the information and the websites. It's for our benefit. For example, in a lot of fields. For example, in education. In education now, my examples here is the bridge program, which is in grade. In grade program, in after the school, in 5 minutes, I can browse anything related to my classes. If the teachers send me message or they ask me for something, in 5 minutes inside my house, in my room, and I will respond. It means I save time and I am still in comfortable place. Also, the information which we get from the internet, all of us, we know there's a lot of information, tons of information. All of us, we use it somehow. Somebody wants to use it if he wants to travel from place to another. Also, somebody, he wants to use it if he wants to get some information during his searches or something. There's a lot of searches and researches in the websites. It means you can use these searches in positive side. It's free of charge, most of them, and it's helpful for you to make your duty. And also, it's in the internet, you can do a lot of things. It's we save time in it. It's free of charge there's no cost, and also the internet connect the people together, connect the countries together. They enhance the relations. For example, if you can share, if you want to share somebody abroad in a matter of seconds, you can share your brother or a member of your family or a friend you know in Canada or Asia or any place. Also, I would mention about how can we imagine these days or the future without the internet, and the future where will lead us without internet. And I am sure and I am trust that all of you are using the internet. Maybe today we are in debate and we are opponents, but if you have answer about this, I prefer your response will be in honest and the truth, as what how you get the information from the website and how it is benefit for you. I don't like just a response in against ideas or against opinion. On the other hand, uh, the internet it's more convenience. Companies are make our life is easy. It submit and offer to us a lot of stuff in the internet. Uh, and also this generation and the new generation, here I would like to talk about the industrial part. Just a second. The industrial part, the internet.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
I need to stop you.
thank you.
The effective affirmative team now has time to ask a question to them.
Thank you. Actually, I have noticed that he just were explaining the being of the internet or how the companies work, but he was going out of the main subject. I have a question to Mr. Nasser, which is, did you know the Constitution, American Constitution, and all other constitution around the world have some terms and regulations that enhance and support the personal
You mean
privacy?
legislation?
Yeah, that support and enhance the personal privacy. So how the government break all these laws and legislation?
Government are not broke.
I think not the government is there is a company and with the collecting the data, collecting data is their role. Not the government who collect your data. This is the first thing. The second thing, there is terms and conditions. If you don't want or don't accept the terms and conditions to get your data, you can refuse
Okay.
using this website. And how can you use this website and get information without any charge, without any? You want to pay for information. You want to pay for each information you get. This is fair. How can you get information for these companies or with millions of employers without you give them any charge or any money?
Can I respond? Okay.
We have another question. You said that it's very easy to people to find information. Don't you think that criminals can find that information too? And in the other hand, if you said that it's a shoes, can you imagine people without email in this time?
Can I?
Yes.
So you had now two questions. The first one was, sorry, what was the first one?
About the statements in the Constitution.
If you can find information easy, you said that. Do you think that criminal can find the same information
Yeah, but
without the
this, this is illegal. So, but we are discussing about the legal taking information from like social media. So you are now talking about.
Thank you. The time is over. You now have 6 minutes to have another point and have a more in-depth view of yours.
Okay. It is said that the government collects so much information by using data mining for finding terrorists and for protecting citizens. But there's a big problem because they collect protocols of visit websites and search keys. They know what you buy in online shops, and they have access to Facebook accounts, email accounts, and even to bank accounts. And that's an important point. And they know with whom you are in contact, and actually they know everything about you, more than you think. And the main problem is that that when they want to find a terrorist, the government involves millions of people who are innocent. They are innocent and their privacy is invaded, and yeah, they have no choice. It just happens. And another problem is that not just the government and companies are able to collect this information, also criminals and hackers. And yeah, what they do with this information, they can destroy your life. They can do bad things. Yes, and I think the whole process is very inefficient, and there are a lot of false alarms because they never know if that's really a terrorist. Yes. And actually, don't have to be a hacker or a member of the government or a company to be able to get this information. Everybody of us can collect this information by using, for example, an app which is called Data Check. Yes, I think I want to say
The concept of the government spying on its citizens, the concept itself is questionable, and no one can say it's moral or legal. But we also have other problems related to this issue. Uh, it's not only the government is spying on the citizens, because the government uses some companies, some private companies, some social media companies, some, for example, like Google, like Facebook, like other companies, to store the data and to transfer this data to the government. So my personal data, all my searches I do on Google, all my emails and my tweets or stuff like that, it's not, as my colleagues mentioned, it's not the government that has this information. It's also million other companies. They all have the same information about me. So sometimes they use this information for marketing, for advertising. We also have noticed there are businesses on the internet for selling personal information of citizens. I mean, there are some databases in some companies have these databases, and they are offering them for sale. For example, some companies like private investigators, they use these databases. They can check all the information about one person for just a small amount of money, like few cents. You can check everything about someone. For example, I can get phone numbers, addresses, social security numbers, bank account numbers, all kind of data about any American citizens is available online. It's not only available for the American government, it's also available for everyone interested in the whole world. We noticed before, even before the internet age, all governments, they collect information about their citizens. The American government was famous that it has more information about their citizens than any other government in the world. Now in this age, when we use email, when we use social media, the problem is a little bit bigger because, as we mentioned before, it's not legal for the government to collect all this information, but it's even more illegal to use this information for other purposes than the security. And they are used. This information are used for advertising, for marketing, for other stuff. The government should not only stop spying on its citizens, but the government should also start to protect. The government must protect the citizens and all their privacy. We all know about some problems related to that, like identity theft. Some statistics about identity theft in the U.S. they are scary because more than 7% of the American people they became victims to identity theft at some time or another. And how the hackers and the thieves how they get all the information they need to steal someone's identity. It's all become from the online information the government collects about us.
I need to stop you now. Thank you for
I still have 15 seconds, but it's okay.
not on my clock. You now have 3 minutes to ask and confront the other party.
Thank you, Abdulaziz. Today I have a pleasure to take our second explanation. Actually, we understood your point. There is a lot of questions are left. Actually, we have answers for each points you mentioned it. But the most important question for you, how do you think if those companies which sell you and give you information can, such as Google, are able to live without feeding you our information or information? Do you have a solution for that? Do you want to get free information and without selling your information? How does these companies can able to live or get selling information? How can they give their employers salaries or what is your solution for that?
Actually, I would like to ask you, please, to repeat that word again because I don't understand that. How the companies are able to what?
Right.
Survive.
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 You need these companies to help you searching or help you in your work, in your study, or give you a lot of information, but you don't want to pay for it. You can go to the library and pay books, expensive money, to save your time. If you want to use it, you are accept the conditions and terms, and this is your choice.
Okay, the first point is I don't believe using the internet in this age, in this century, I don't believe it's a choice because you cannot choose to use the internet or not. It's a necessity. It's not something you can choose not to use.
You need it, right? You need it.
Okay. And about the second point, these companies, they are offering a service to us, to the citizens, but they should not keep all the data about my use of this service. And if they keep this data for technical reasons or for any other reasons, they should not be allowed by law, they should not be allowed to share these data with other companies all around the world. And because sometimes, for example, each government in the world has the same information the American government has on its citizens. I mean, this data is not only available to the American government, it's also because it's online and all the world is connected to the internet. So all the world can get this information.
I hope that was the right answer you expected. You now have 6 minutes to talk about Lufan again. Start now.
Okay. My name is Mario. I'm going to add some point of view of our position, and I'm going to speak 3 more points. Payment for information, regulating and its controlling about information. The last one is data mining. Actually, it's a big industry. Many companies use that. The first one, pay for information. I think the question here is, who of us are available to pay for information? Nobody, I think, yeah. Because at the beginning it was free. Actually, it's free. In the future, I hope or I expect it will be free. The second question here is, if nobody pays for the information, how the companies or how the social media sites get the money, how they made money? And the answer for that question is for advertisement, for money. I'm going to tell you my own experience here. When I decided to come here in order to study English last year, I wrote in Google, study English in US. Just that. The next week, I started to receive many emails, many information about studying English here. But I didn't send emails some places. Just wrote on Google, study English in US. But that happened. That is mining data. That is the way how work mining data. I think if you interact with online, the Google or the social media sites is convenient for us because they help to us in order to have many choices, and you can decide maybe you have the option to make a better decision. Just for instance, Google generates profits primarily from advertising through its software. The name of software is AdWords, not for sell your or our private information or our personal information. The second point here is regulating and its controlling. Our position is the government's job is ensure the safety of its citizens, and data mining help the government to protect us. One example is the police. Police use data mining and they are interaction online in order to help us. For example, if they want to find a car which was stolen, they using that mining and they can find that car, or they can find a thief if they can find the guilty through data mining or through the social information. And another question here is steal money through the social media, maybe when you use information about your credit card. But there is many ways to protect your information because there are tools like a PayPal, like a firewalls, and we have options to protect our information. The government jobs, I think, or we think, is not protect, is not control our personal information. Because if they do that, they will need resources, and that is money. How the government gets money? How the government make money? Through the taxes. Maybe if we want to to the government protect our information, but maybe we need to pay more taxes. The question here is, we are able to pay more taxes? Someone here wants to pay more taxes? Well, the last point here is data mining is a big industry. Actually, data mining is used by many companies like Best Buy, Super, Amazon, etc., etc., etc. Why they use data mining? They have a main reason, that is, give us a good product, a best product, because they need to know what can expect, what want to have, and if they use our information, they are be able to give us the best product.
Thank you, Mario. The affirmative team now has 3 minutes to ask questions to the negative team. After that, we have a 2-minute break.
Actually, it was a little bit difficult for our team to find any questions because I don't see your point of view as logical point of view because you don't say anything to support your point of view, your opinion, which is the government should spy or monitor all online interactions. So I'm still not convinced, and I have not heard anything about that. So maybe our question will be, the first question will be like this. What do you think is the logical reason or your convincing argument that the government should be allowed to spy on its citizens? Because all you talked about is advertisements and money for the companies, and which is, I think, is not related to our topic.
You mentioned twice that the government does it for the safety of our citizens.
Yes, just mentioned.
So how to convince us and convince the audience that that is the right thing to do, that the government should monitor our interactions for the security or the safety?
So we have global problems with like terrorism, and so the question is that is one's privacy worth the well-being of the population?
Also, I have a point, which is he mentioned that nobody would like to pay more taxes for the government to protect them, but in the same time, nobody would like to lose his whole world. So think about that.
Sorry.
Whole world or whole money on the internet. So for me, I prefer to pay some taxes, more taxes, to protect my money, the whole money that I have in my credit card.
So what you now said is that is illegal. So if someone steals my money in the internet, it is restricted already from the government. So, but we are talking now about the legal data mining. So I don't get the point.
The problem with the legal data mining and that my colleague talked about is this information is not for your safety because you lose your money, you lose your family, you lose everything because the criminal has this information and use it against you.
So you say we are not able in our generation to use internet at all because you say internet is bad. Because if you use internet,
Stop.
Never
We come to an end. You now have 2 minutes time to speak with each other as a team and discuss what you want to say.
Okay.
Don't get up and go anywhere. 2 minutes.
then we don't have the time. they don't have the argument. They say it's illegal.
Right. Right.
Bad news, guys. One rebuttal. Because it's 11:44, it's too late for us to keep going a long time. So make your changes to that.
You have to stop the first one. I don't think they made any change without right, pretty much.
Yeah, this is.
I think they're very well.
That's what they were talking about. The swing vote. But what is the swing vote?
Yeah, I know.
5%.
Yes, I don't want to start anymore. Because that would confuse the audience. But now I have to have more to convince the audience. So I don't want to spend the time with crappy arguments. So Robin, I'm
The break is over. We now have two rebuttal speeches. The negative team will start. They have 4 minutes. You can start now.
Hello everybody. I'm going to repeat ourselves, but please listen very carefully to what I'm going to tell you now. Can we risk the well-being of the population for one's privacy? With other words, is one's privacy worth hundreds, thousands, or maybe millions of the well-being of the people of the population? So I'm not talking about one's life. I'm just talking about one's privacy. So does anybody want to have the happening of the 11th September in 2001 repeated? No. So my question is, do you want to get on a train, on an airplane, and with the anxiety that that could happen again? No. Do you want to send your children to school knowing they may not return? No. Do you want to walk through a city in the city while thinking about there might be an explosion at the next corner? Of course not. So isn't data mining something that is able to avoid those happenings? So my question is, what are we debating about? I ask of you, please think about it. Is one's privacy really worth the well-being of the population? Thank you.
So, now it's your turn. You have 4 minutes.
Okay. Hello everybody. As my colleague said, the use of internet is a necessity for all of us. We need to use internet. But as we discover, our opponent said the business justifies the bad things. Because of money, the government or the company had to take our information and spread this information, and this use of our information could be against our safety, because this information, it's resources for all criminals. Rapists can use information to localize where you are because you have localization on Facebook, on Google, or everything. Criminal, terrorists, every bad person can use this information for bad things. Of course, we are not against the use of internet, but we believe that the use of internet must be regulated because they can spread our information to everybody. So first, we have with the right country, there is a law. We have everybody here have a privacy. So yes, of course, we need the government needs some information for the election, for everything to protect us. But do you think the government need to spread this information to everybody? Do you this information which is used by the government are resources for all terrorists? Do you like the 9/11 to repeat again? Because terrorists have information about you, your country, all citizens of this country. Do you like your child, your father, your mother to be kidnapped because terrorists have information about you on Facebook, on YouTube, or on any data mining? Because this information exists and your government decide or allow people to spread this information. I don't think you don't like that this happened. When I saw the example of this child the first time, I think my colleague Oswald, he cried the first time because it's very sad. That because people get information, we give information to people because you need this information. I think that Google don't earn his money by selling information. Google earns his money by selling publicity, advertising. So it's not a necessity for them to sell this information, but it's a necessity for us to use Google. Taking this information without our agreement or with our agreement is like to take people like a hostage. We are their hostage. We don't like to be hostage anymore. And to be hostage, adding that the fact that they weak our security, they weak our lives, they weak everything. Every single day, we have maybe 100 or more people in this city which are kidnapped or raped because only the criminal have this information. So we believe for our security, for our life, for our future, we need to keep our information safe in safety. The government needs this information, but the government don't need this information, don't need to spread this information to everybody. This is our point of view. Thank you.
Thanks everybody. So we came to an end. I would like to request that debaters now leave the room. We will now hold the audience to determine the winner. Please raise your hand silently to show your support for the opinion you agree with more. You may only vote once. If you agree with the affirmative team that thinks online interaction should be considered private and data collection on an individual is an invasion of privacy and the government should take an interest in protecting this right of privacy and should not allow businesses to mine data on individuals, please raise your hand now.
Keep them up. Very high.
with the negative team that thinks online interaction should not be considered private. It is the individual's choice or decision to use the internet, and he or she must understand that the information can easily be obtained and utilized by many people, that the government job is to ensure the safety of its citizens, and data mining contributes to this effort. Please raise your hand now.
Raise your hand really high and keep them up so I can see.
Thank you for your participation.
Okay, we're going to bring the other teams back in. Major, please enter. Where did you go? You're not done. You have to come back. Where did you go? That's great. You guys can continue it after class. Everybody wants to eat lunch. Okay, Robin, will you reveal our decision, please? By a popular vote.
The audience has determined that the winner is the affirmative team. Congratulations to everybody who took part in this debate.
Thank you.
Debaters, round of applause for your moderator.